There was once a butcher named Bahadur, who was known for his kind heart. Every morning, before opening his shop, he would throw the first piece of meat to a dog. That dog waited for him every day at the corner of the street. Between them, there was a silent promise, a promise that was never broken and never spoken. No one knew where the dog came from, and Bahadur never asked. Some people do not need to know one's origin to be kind, and Bahadur was one of them. Every morning, the dog would sit and wait. Bahadur would throw the meat, the dog would eat quietly and then leave. He never showed pride, nor did he ever ask for more. This simple scene repeated every day, until it became a part of the morning. Just like the sunlight, and the sounds of the busy market. Some people in the market would say to Bahadur, "Why do you waste good meat on a dog that is of no use to you?" Bahadur would smile and say, "He is hungry, just like us." What others didn't understand was that Bahadur wanted nothing in return. He only knew that every morning, and I watched his path, and he could not bear to let that I go away empty. This was his faith, and this was his worship. In those same days, Bahadur's wife, Gul Zora, also waited for him every evening. She was a quiet woman, who recognized her husband by the sound of his footsteps. They had a simple dream, a small house with a window opening into a garden. Away from the noise, where the birds would wake them in the morning, and the moonlight would bring them sleep at night. For years, Bahadur had been saving money, penny by penny, with a patience that hopelessness could never touch. He kept all that wealth in a small wooden box, hidden under a large sofa. That box was not just money to Bahadur, it was a symbol of his determination, his hard work, and his dreams. Gul Zora knew that inside that box lay Bahadur's exhaustion, the summer heat, and the winter cold he had endured. This year, Bahadur told her, "I have found the right land, and the money is almost complete. This autumn, we will build our home." But at the other end of the street, behind a door that was always closed, lived a man named Hanjal. Hanjal was a man who watched everyone's steps with a dark gaze. He was jealous of other people's happiness, and seeing someone's hard work bear fruit made his heart burn with fire. One day, Hanjal saw Bahadur feeding the dog. He stopped and mocked him, "Bahadur, that is good meat you are giving to a dog." Bahadur replied without turning back, "He is hungry, Hanjal, like any other living creature." The next morning, Bahadur opened his shop as usual, gave the dog its meat, and worked until sunset. When he returned home, he felt something strange in the air. The house was quieter than usual. He looked at the sofa, it had been moved from its place. His heart sank, and when he looked underneath, the box was open and empty. 3 years of hard work had vanished in a single night. He stood there in silence, staring at the empty wooden box. Gul Zora came out of the kitchen, saw the box, and understood everything. She did not cry, nor did she speak. She simply sat on the floor beside him and held his hand. That silence held a truth, that even if the wealth was gone, they still had each other. The next day, Bahadur went to the Qazi. He told him everything, but the Qazi said, "Without proof, I cannot blame anyone." Bahadur returned home, feeling restless but still holding on to the truth. That evening, as he sat outside his home, the gray dog appeared. But today, its walk was different. It did not run, it walked with a strange dignity. It sat directly in front of Bahadur and looked into his eyes. Bahadur touched its head and said, "Today, I have nothing to give you, my friend." The dog did not move, as if it was saying, "I am not here to take, I am here to stand by you." Suddenly, the dog started sniffing the ground near the doorstep. It then turned toward the street, looked back at Bahadur, and disappeared into the darkness. The next morning, the dog came to the shop but did not stop at the corner. It ran a few steps and looked back at Bahadur, signaling him to follow. Bahadur followed the dog through narrow alleys, until the dog stopped in front of Hanjal's house. The dog went into a small garden at the back, and began digging near the wall with all its strength. Bahadur's heart raced. As the soil moved, a corner of a cloth appeared. Bahadur dug with his own hands, and there it was, the wooden box, with all the money intact. Bahadur ran to the Qazi, who was surprised to see the dog standing silently at the door. "Who told you?" the Qazi asked. Bahadur replied, "The dog I fed for 3 years, today he returned the debt." The Qazi understood the silent language of the heart. He sent soldiers to Hanjal's garden, where the evidence was clear. Hanjal was caught, his fake smile fell away, and he confessed to his crime. Justice was served. Bahadur finally got his wealth back. That autumn, he built his small house. Stone walls, a wooden roof, and a window that opened into a beautiful garden. In a corner of that garden, Bahadur built another small room, made of mud and wood, with a soft bed. That was the home for the grey dog. Every morning, Bahadur would place a piece of meat there. The dog would come out, eat quietly, and return to its home. Just as it had always been, but now, they were all finally at peace.